So we are originally from Mobile, Alabama. South by 10, live on Gulf Coast. So if anybody's familiar with Dauphin Island, Alabama, this is where this occurred. I'm going to tell the story, like how it occurred and how things process in my brain, and I'm going to pray that it doesn't offend anybody. And maybe it'll be a little educational, because that it's just a spooky story, but it does have some history behind it that I feel like is pretty important. So anyways, I'm going to pray it doesn't offend anybody. If it does offend you, I sincerely apologize. It was not my intention. All right, here we go. I'm just going to read it straight from here. That way I'm not gabbing along. And I do have like some scratch outs here and there on here, so bear with me if I need to like figure out what the heck I'm saying. Okay, 16 years ago, on Dauphin Island, Alabama, my husband and I went fishing one night. This is something that we did very often. This particular night, we went to the conservation. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what we refer to it. Anytime we're like, oh, we're going to fish at the conservation, or somebody called and said, hey, where y'all at? We're at the conservation. That's what we would say. The conservation. This is where the Wildlife and Fishery Patrol boats could dock, and the main building is there as well. There is a main dock that we have fished at many times, and I've always had that someone is watching feeling every time. We didn't fish there this time. We went to a really small pier back behind the main building. My husband loves it back there because it is not overfished, and it has a nice pier light that attracts fish to the area. And mind you, we usually would go fishing here late. Like I'm talking between like 10 to 1 a.m., just depending. Anyway, we were fishing, enjoying our night, when I hear a jingling noise, similar to keys but different. That prompted me to turn around. Way off in the distance, I saw a large black silhouette that appeared to have long hair. He was swinging what appeared to be a baseball bat, backwards and forwards and around and around. Okay, so just picture somebody swing, swing, around, around, swing, swing, around, around, that kind of motion over and over again. He was pacing as he did this. It really weirded me out, so I immediately told my husband. He watched him for a while to try and figure out what his deal was. We initially thought that maybe he was looking to rob us, because this was a super secluded area of the island. It was very late at night, so it was odd that we saw anyone at all. After observing him for a while, we saw him change his behavior, so we sort of went on about our business. I'm still weirded out, so every so often I look back to make sure he doesn't catch us off guard. I turn back and he is gone. I got a deep pit in my stomach. My husband walked off the pier and towards the opening where he was pacing. Maybe 100 yards from the pier is a gigantic oak tree. He walked past this oak tree and down a small hill to look for signs of the man. As soon as he makes it past, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. As soon as he makes it past the oak tree, he stops in his tracks and stares for like 30 seconds. Then he runs towards us as fast as he could. Because it was me, Josh, I was pregnant with Bailey, so that was 16 years ago, and Josh's little sister, Dakota, my sister-in-law. And at this time, 16 years ago, she might have been like 12, so she was young. Anyways, of course, I'm panicking because he doesn't scare easily. He starts yelling at us to help him gather our things, that we have to go now. We were scrambling to get all of our stuff, and every few seconds I glanced back up while tossing our crap into the cooler and the bag. My last glance back will forever be an image that is seared into my brain. Yeah. The large oak tree that I talked about earlier, it was huge, like for real, it was huge, and it kind of had like a V shape. So a giant branch that went this way and a giant branch that this way. So there was an opening right here in the middle. Visualize that. Directly in the middle of the V, the split of the tree, is a large silhouette with long black hair, crouched down like an animal. So if you can picture like Tarzan, you know, like feet are planted and then kind of like one hand is forward, crouched, if you can picture that. And it was pure black. There were no facial features. There was nothing distinguished about this silhouette other than long black hair. No features at all. I am petrified, and the only way to get to the car is to come off of that pier towards the tree. I'm very, very pregnant, and I just remember running like my life depended on it, and my big belly bouncing. Thank God our car wasn't too far away. We jumped in, threw our crap in, and of course our car stalls and does not want to crank. After a few tries, it cranks and we bolt. So, backstory of Dauphin Island. Its original name is Massacre Island. There were Native Americans. I don't know the name of the tribe. I should have looked that up. But there were Native Americans that were the original ones to settle that land. I don't know what year, again, you'll have to look it up, but the French discovered the island and described coming across mounds of thousands of bones. It is unclear if there was a battle with someone in the Indians or if it was how they laid their loved ones to rest. Oh, okay. So there's like a little insert here. Go back to what my husband saw whenever he walked past the tree and down the hill. My husband described what he saw. A small group of people sitting in a circle, and they appeared to be performing a ritual with drums. Drums that we could not hear. Y'all, I have literal goosebumps. Oh, God. So that's what freaked him out. That's what made him run back to the pier and told us, like, we gotta get our crap and go. The French discovered the island. Not long after they made their appearance, the government demanded the Indians leave or die. The majority stayed and fought and died, including the chief. Hello, Bailey. Including the chief. I didn't know this at the time, but we later found out that the conservation is built on Indian burial grounds. I believe that what we witnessed was the chief protecting his land. I also believe that the French didn't discover the bones upon arrival. I believe they tried to paint a prettier picture because of how brutal their methods were in taking the land. They tried to paint a prettier picture for what really happened. No one ever stood a chance. They were ambushed from the beginning. We never returned to the conservation ever again, and I never will. But yeah, that's our little story. If you ever go there, the conservation, if you're pulling down the island, things might have changed. I haven't been down there in a long time. But if you get on the island, you go all the way. The first gas station is on the right-hand side. I think you go up a little bit, and then there's like a gap for you to turn on the left-hand side because it's 2 lanes this way, 2 lanes this way, and there's a grass median in between. So you go up a little bit further, I believe, and there's a gap for you to be able to turn left. And if you turn left, I'm wanting to say through there is how we would get to the conservation. But anyways, it's on the left side of the island. 10 out of 10, do not recommend going there at night. The image of the oak tree thing, I kid you not, like every time I would close my eyes for months, I would see that. It was terrifying. And when our car didn't want to crank initially, and I was pregnant, y'all, seriously scared. This was not a figment of our imagination. It was very, very real. So if anybody's had similar experiences on Dolphin Island or anywhere that you know is like Native American burial grounds, which is super sad. I didn't know that, or I would have never like went fishing on that because it's kind of disrespectful in my opinion. But yeah, that's my story. If y'all have any similar stories, like post a video and tag me in it or something because I'd love to hear your stories. Bye.